Hi, guys. Today's episode is going to be spicy. So, if you haven't subscribed already, do so. Grab a drink and let's get right into it. Ooh, spicy. My mom found my vibrator while cleaning my cupboard. Mm. So, this just happened. My mom decided to deep clean my room while I was out, and apparently, she opened every single locker I had. When I got back, I noticed a few things rearranged. And then she casually goes, "What kind of massager did you get?" It took me a second to process what she meant. And then it hits me. Yep, that kind of massager. In full panic mode, I blurted out that it belongs to a friend who moved abroad for work. Don't even ask why that was the excuse my brain chose. Now, it's insanely awkward. She hasn't said anything since, but I can feel the silent judgment every time we make eye contact. I'm 26, by the way, and I don't even live like a reckless teenager anymore. I want to clear the air or at least make things less weird, but I have no idea how. Should I pretend it never happened? Or make a joke? Or just die and reincarnate in another household? Any advice from your people would be nice. Oh my god, that is so funny. And first things first, it's not weird at all. You're an adult. An adult have needs. So just be yourself is what I would say, because I don't think that's anything to be embarrassed about. Guys, what do you think? I know it's a bit unrealistic. But yeah, just be yourself. You're a boss bitch. The hell? What do you guys think about this? This was a very funny one to start with. On to the next. Is this normal or is just messed up as it feels? This happened yesterday. We've been dating for 8 years, my boyfriend and I. So I was looking through my boyfriend's phone with his permission, of course, in an attempt to locate an old picture. I discovered pictures of women's underwear when I opened the folder. They weren't being modeled in any way, it was only the panties. The photos were taken from various perspectives. The majority of pairs were lying on the bed or the floor, crumpled. My friend's comforter was in the background of one of the pictures. I bought it for her, so I recognized it right away. Interesting. That at least one pair was taken inside a friend's home. The folder contained several other pairs that were different from hers in terms of size and style. I'm keeping this to myself right now because I want to investigate further. I need advice. I mean, do you, though? Do you really need advice? First off, what else is there to investigate that he's basically doing a research for panties or something? Like, what are you talking about? Let's be real here, your boyfriend is a creep. Listen, we don't judge, but here, unfiltered everything. Like everything here is unfiltered. We are not covering anything up. Just be real with yourself and part ways with that creep. Now, that's just weird. Whew. Okay. Next dilemma. I'm not a clean freak by any means, and I've always thought that people who complain about bad hygiene on dates were exaggerating. But now I really understand the problem. We've been dating for 2 years. No, we've been dating for about 2 months. At first, I didn't notice because we were outside in thick outwear, but now I've noticed that he can smell very, very strongly of sweat. When I first felt it, I was afraid it was coming from me. I know, right? So I checked my shoes, my pits, but nothing that I could feel. The second time I realized it was him. It happened the last 5 times we've seen each other, so it's not a one off thing. I hadn't cared about that until it happened because I know he doesn't use perfume or deodorant because we talked about perfumes for some reason early on. Okay. I've never been in this situation before. Maybe I've been lucky. I've never met a man with problems with their hygiene that bothered me. Is there a reasonably nice way to approach the problem? Because it's becoming a huge issue for me. It does make me feel less attracted to him, surely. I have no clue what to do. I feel like I would hurt him a lot by bringing it up. And some part of me feels like I shouldn't have to. He's a grown man. I'm not his mother. Of course, you're not his mother, sis. Um, I personally don't have issues with telling people these kind of things because honestly, I could not care less about what you feel because I cannot inconvenience myself, you know, around you. I will just distance myself mostly because it's really never worth it to be in that kind of situation because 9 times out of 10 they have other friends that should have told them you're not the new girlfriend, you know. But if you guys have friends, it's been a while, I think it should be an easy thing to say, like, girl, what's going on? Like, But with this type of scenario, what do you guys think? Would you be able to tell your, fresh boyfriend that he thinks, or, the sweat is a bit much or not? Let me know what you think. Vice versa, actually. I know it's a very, very, very funny or let's say sensitive topic, but for me, I think it should be as easy as, dude, this whole natural thing you're doing is not working for you. Can we try something else? Maybe let's look for some natural deodorant or, let's explore options. Some people think that they are, some special beings that are immune to smelling bad, but one way or the other, bacteria is what is gonna do what bacteria does. So just you're not special. Join the queue, get a deodorant, get something. It doesn't have to smell good or like have a scent. It could just be as simple as something that takes the odor away, but that doesn't leave a perfume scent on you if that's what you're so worried about. Guys, advise a sister because that is not something you want to be dealing with in a relationship for it to be that serious. Next dilemma. So I was hanging out with this girl I've been talking to for a few weeks. Things got heated and we were about to have sex. But she pulled out a couple of condoms that were already opened and said she brought them from home. I was like, I got new ones in my drawer. As you should. I wasn't trying to accuse her of anything. It's just that I felt weird using open ones that weren't mine. Exactly. I told her I'd feel more comfortable using a fresh one from a pack, but she kind of snapped and said I was making it awkward and killing the vibe. Now, she's not replying to my text, and I'm low-key confused. Like, was I wrong for insisting on using my own? I thought it was common sense to use new ones, especially once haven't been tampered with. You dodged a bullet because why would any sane person open a condom and ask you to use it? Like, that's literally the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Guys, have you ever experienced this before? Let me know in the comments because I don't know what that's about. Also, don't text this girl anymore because that is some serious stuff. It could be sabotage. I mean, it could be harmless, but if a person insists, that's when there's some funny thing going on and you don't want to deal with that. Trust me. Next dilemma. This is a situation I'm in. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2.5 years. Okay, sure vibes. I have my own place and pay my own rent. Okay, girl. And I wanted to continue living there to maintain my independence. However, he insisted that I move in with him. Because of his job conditions, he has to travel all the time and he does not want to drive back and forth every weekend to see me. So he suggested I move in to be his housewife. What? So I can follow him everywhere. Okay. Now, here is the problem. The other day, he texted me and complained that I never show my gratitude towards him for paying rent at his place for both of us. What? Mind you, even while staying with him, I still do more for him. I work, I cook, I take care of him and give him massages. Okay. All while still paying rent at my own place. I mean, I don't get it. And pretty much pay for other expenses with him. What hurts me is in the past, I've financially supported us, paying for rent. We've once lived together. Okay, girl. Food, clothes, shoes, and even his investment business when he was unemployed. He has never acknowledged these contributions, but I didn't expect a thank you either because I just thought that's what people do when they love each other. But now, he made me feel like a leech because he complained about paying rent for both of us. Despite everything I do, I don't feel the need to express my gratitude for him because I never live here like a princess. I apologized to him last night about this issue. I feel bad for not showing gratitude, but part of me is unhappy that I buried my feelings. I'm not sure if this is a sign I should reconsider this relationship. I want a relationship where I feel respected, valued, and independent. First off, I don't actually believe in independence, say in a relationship, but there is always some form of individuality that you need to maintain in a relationship. Now, to your dilemma, which is I don't actually encourage anybody moving in with anybody if they are not actually married, because I know that usually tends to pretty quickly. Honestly, I think you should move back to your place, and also have the conversation first, not just apologizing, because sometimes some apologies are not necessary. A conversation is required because two grown adults living together should be able to communicate. And of course, why do you need this whole gratitude thing? Sometimes people project their insecurities onto others, and I think that's what's happening here. First off, you're already paying your rent as a single person. Her joining you did not change your rent amount to anything. Also, why are you still paying for rent at your other place? But anyway, I don't know what that's about. But guys, what do you think about this? Do you believe that it's okay to move in with somebody? I know some people's circumstances are different. I know. But ideally, I think it's always right to stay by yourself before you get married. Then again, if it feels right, it feels right. Let me know what you think in the comments. On to the next. I got married in July and I hate my life. Oh, where is this? I hate being married and resent my husband. I feel like I'm raising another child. I constantly have to dig him out of financial issues. He's constantly playing video games. We haven't had a date since the day after we got married. Sheesh. We were in a really good spot when we got married and then it just went downhill. I don't want to get divorced and be a failure that I couldn't even stay married for 6 months. But hell, he's so hard to get along with. I have a son and he tries to give me parenting advice on not coddling him, but he will run to his grandma to have her make his appointments, clean our place without my knowledge. As in, I was in the hospital for a month. Okay. He will say how my son would need to be a man and not be coddled when he's older. And I'm like, he's 4. What are you saying? And I also think it's kind of hypocritical when you run to your mommy and grandma for everything, but you are giving me parenting advice about a 4-year-old. He just pisses me off and I hate my life with him so damn much. Oh my god, that is so intense. Girl. You will think that getting married solves your problems, but it actually brings out the worst kinds of problems, especially if you rushed into it. But then again, right, guys, what would you do if you feel like your partner is always infantilizing themselves, like they're always behaving like they can't do anything by themselves? What would you do? Because resenting your partner is just a recipe for disaster. It has to be addressed now. I think you guys should go for some kind of counseling. Yeah, because those things would bring out issues that people keep bottled up. Like, he might think that he's not doing anything wrong, and if you also keep it to yourself without actually having the discussion, I think if you just tell him to do stuff, it's still that mental load that you're still carrying, having to tell a grown ass man to do stuff. So like talking about it openly with another ear, usually I feel would, take away that whole feeling of mental load from you, the woman. But guys, what would you advise someone in such a scenario? Let me know. Okay. Next dilemma. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years now. He buys me flowers regularly, which I appreciate, but doesn't do anything for me like it seems to do for other women. Oh, that's so sad. He's done it since we first met, and he's always so proud of himself. I think he even chuckled with pride and said, "You had no idea," when I thanked him for those very first flowers. I've never said anything because it seems to make him feel extremely great about himself to do it. But lately, it started to bother me. The flowers are pretty and I appreciate the gesture, but there have been so many instances where he's clearly living in his own experience. and not even remotely considering mine. Just this weekend, he brought some flowers home and I said thank you. And when he brought them into my office and set them on the desk, he looked into my eyes, beaming, waiting for another pat on the back. I smiled and said thanks. And he puffed up all proud, bowed and walked out. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Then he'll point them out all week long. Ugh, that's annoying. I don't need to hear that. I can tell him I don't like flowers. And yes, as I said, I understand and appreciate the effort. I'm sorry if you wish your partner brought you flowers regularly. I got that. Others would love it. I honestly just want to hear from other people with partners who live in their own perception bubble without ever once noticing or considering whether or not you feel the same. It does this in so many areas, and while it's mostly a non-issue because I see it and bring it up on important things, sometimes it drives me absolutely crazy and I need to complain somewhere. So I don't do it to him. Honestly, the whole flower thing, it's a bit weird for me because I love flowers, right? The idea of it is so cute. It's like, just living in the moment. But I do get the issue though, like why exactly are you making it about yourself? I could just picture it and it's giving me the creeps. Do you think this is a problem? Guys, do you think this is a problem or not? Let me know in the comments because I think a conversation needs to be had, surely, that or just ignore him altogether. Because he's doing what makes him happy, actually, not what makes you happy. That's what it looks like. But then it's gonna look annoying either way.